right, welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin, and as you know, I have 3 of my grandfather's watches. Now this is what I'm most happy about. It's this right here. It's a Wedgefield, which I don't know much about the brand. I mean, long since defunct, long since gone, long since gone out of business. You can't even find much information on the internet about these watches. But you know, it's not a particularly special watch. I mean, it's rare in the sense that you'd be hard pressed to get one, but it's a relatively no-name brand. I think. I mean, I'm. This is all kind of speculation. If you guys know anything about Wedgefield, please let me know. But this looks like a grandfather's watch, and I think I remember at a young age seeing a watch with this dial color, and it had to be this watch at my grandfather's house. I mean, it looks like a grandfather's watch, unlike the Timex, which is a little modern. I mean, this has it's just got that sort of retro style to it. Stick dial. There are numbers at the 12 and the 6. Day date, automatic. It says shock resistant on the back. It says waterproof, anti-magnetic, stainless steel back. Now, I suspect that this was worn a long time, but then my grandfather retired this because it stopped working. Okay. Now it's ticking right now, but if you let it be, it will stick. The second hand will stick around the 35 to 40 second point. So I suspect that he wore this for a long time, and when it stopped working, he got the Timex in the 70s. So my guess is this watch probably was his for the majority of his adult life, until about 76. And this is what I'm most excited about getting working, okay? Like I said, because I think I remember it, and it looks like something a grandfather would have. Be very useful, a day and a date function. So we'll see what happens, and I have no problem spending $300 to get this working, even though I think it's probably a $20 watch on eBay if you were to get it. Back in the day, you know, what did my grandfather pay for it? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I really don't know much about this, but maybe the watchmaker can give me some insight into this watch. Okay, it's ticking right now. Let's see if it stops. It's at the 35, going past the 40. Yeah, actually, you know, if you kind of move it around, it keeps going. But if I were to lay it down, as you'll see in some video footage, it stops around the 35 to 40 mark. I say about it. You know, this is like a really big deal for me because, you know, when I got into watches, I thought about the idea of my grandfather's watch and about having one of them. And I knew my grandfather had a watch, but you know, he died in '92, and I got into watches about 2013. So, you know, I just thought the watches were gone, and you know, just it was sort of one of those things. The idea of having my grandfather's watch, and this particular grandfather was really special to me, and I didn't know him very well because he. I'll kind of explain about his life later, but you know, I've got snapshots of him in my memories at early ages, but you know, I suspect if he had lived longer, we would have been really close and remained, you know, lucid during the end of his life. I think we would have been really close. So having his watch was always something that I really wanted. And when I would watch Matt Stevens, he would mention his grandfather's Bulova, and I thought, wow, that's got to be so cool to have your grandfather's watch, and to now have 3. It's really a special thing, and I'm very happy about it. Now, just for you guys that don't know, my uncle had a box of I guess it was like an old jewelry box, and he didn't want it anymore, and it was my grandfather's old stuff, and he probably noticed that this didn't run, and my uncle's he's a shrewd man, so I'm sure he did a Google search on Wedgefield and realized it really wasn't worth anything aside from the sentimental value, and it didn't work anymore, and so he asked my mother what she thought, and she knew I was into watches and took it, and this past trip to Japan she brought these watches and some other stuff, and she kind of mentioned it to me offhand, like, yeah, by the way, like, I've got a box of your grandfather's old stuff. I think there are like 3 watches in there. My God, like, you're just telling me now this is amazing. I mean, this is if she knew how important that was, I think she would have probably told me even before she came. It's good to get any watch from your grandfather. Okay, the fact that he used it for so long is important, and it's awesome. And would it be cool if it was a Rolex? Oh yeah, I mean, it would be awesome because the watch would be awesome, and the fact that it was his would be awesome. But at the same time, I don't mind this because I can take it to this watch dealer and I can have it serviced, and if it winds up with aftermarket parts, it's not a big deal. If I had an old Rolex, and this isn't sour grapes, and I'm not saying like I wouldn't appreciate and be amazed and over the moon with a Rolex that was my grandfather's, but I'm just saying that the weight of taking care of that watch and keeping it original and doing justice by it, I couldn't take it to Rolex, and so then I would have to think about having it serviced, and then there's the whole what do I do about parts and aftermarket parts, and if I get it running and it means not keeping it original, and what do I do? And this one I feel is just is probably going to wind up with an aftermarket part. This particular watch place can make parts, so I just want to get it running, so it's not 100% original. Who knows? Maybe it will be able to. Maybe it just needs some tweaking. But these will be very usable, and I don't know if I will use them a lot, but I'll be able to. And so we'll see how it goes. I'm off to the watch place, and we'll go in and see what he says. This place is called Alex, and they have a ton of vintage watches. And as I mentioned, they do repair. Apparently the watchmaker can make parts. Unfortunately you can't take pictures or film in there. A lot of old pieces, a lot of overpriced pieces. They have an old Casio calculator watch. Must have been one of the first incarnations of that, and they have it priced at $700, which I know it is what it is, and it is one of the first, but that just seems a bit crazy. So you can see it across the street, Alex. There guys, here it is, Alex. See what they have in the window. All right, guys, let's go in and check it out. All right, guys, I'm watchless. Entrusted my watches to them, so just waiting for an estimate. They're going to send me an email, so I'll keep you posted. It's weird not wearing a watch. I have to depend on my iPhone. I haven't done that in ages.